Hello everyone, my name is Brian, or GTFrostbite, and today we are playing a new, really fun survival game called Valheim. It's kind of like Minecraft or Rust meets Skyrim slash Nordic RPG, so that's what we're going to dive into. I've made a new character here, who I haven't actually played at all. I've got my main that I've been playing with friends, but here we have Frostbite, a brand new, fresh character that you can, and the way the game works is much like Terraria, where you make characters and can join worlds rather than your kind of save file and everything locking you into that world. So you can carry things in between worlds with whatever you can carry on your person. You've got some skills, no like skill tree or anything like that, but you have skills that your character gets better at, and those like follow along with your character as you join different worlds and things. So we're going to dive into a fresh world. I've played around a bit. It's been a bunch of fun. I've played on a server with my friends where I actually stream some of our hooligans and shenaniganery on Twitch over at twitch.tv/GTFrostbite, so you can follow me there to kind of interact and watch us kind of mess around live across a bunch of various games. Sometimes it's by myself for like Civ and stuff like that. Sometimes it's as a group for Valheim. Yeah, we generally have just a lot of fun, so come hang out, give a follow, and catch me while I'm live. Now we're gonna dive into everything. Oh, that's right, I have to make a new world. I forgot. We'll name it YouTube World. Wow. Oh, what's this? Our eyes slowly awaken. Oh wait, no, never mind. I forgot we get like a Star Wars scroll. Long ago, the Allfather Odin united the worlds. He threw down his foes and cast them into the 10th world, then split the boughs that held their prison to the world tree and left it to drift unanchored, a place of exile. For centuries, this world slumbered uneasily, but it did not die. As glacial ages passed, kingdoms rose and fell out of sight of the gods. When Odin heard his enemies were growing once again in strength, he looked to Midgard and sent his Valkyries to score the battlefields for the greatest of their warriors, dead to the world, but would be reborn again in Valheim. And here we are, being brought by a gigantic, feathery crow man. Well, I guess not really, just a big crow. And much like any indie survival game, it's it runs pretty well, honestly. It could stand to be a little better optimized, I think, but I think it's a nice blend between, it doesn't need fantastic graphics, so it doesn't strain the computer that much more than any other procedurally generated indie survival game. It actually runs really well. I haven't had any issues with, it crashing, or, I mean, I'm gonna knock on wood just in case that changes. But for the 10 hours or so I've already put into it, it actually runs really well. Sometimes it can be a little much for even my, like, mid-range computer, but overall, pretty smooth. Now we've got this crow, Huggin? We're gonna call him Huggins. Welcome to the 10th world, warrior. I am Huggins, sent here to guide you in your travels. The megaliths surrounding you are the sacrificial stones. They represent the Forsaken, which you must slay in order to ascend to Valhalla. So right off the bat, well, we're going to pick up that wood. Oh, look, recipes. So right off the bat, we've got kind of the setting where we are gonna hunt down world bosses, kind of like Terraria again. There's definitely some strong similarities there. And you guys probably saw a bunch of, I'll read this. These magical stones were scattered throughout the lands by Odin as signposts pointing toward the ritual grounds of the Forsaken. If inspected closer, this one will reveal the summoning place of Eikthyr, your first prey. He is a mighty beast, so you need to properly arm yourself before even attempting to defeat him. Can we read? Oh, we can read all of these. So this one with the little deer carving on it is for Eikthyr. And it says, his antlers are branches of iron. They crack the rocks and bring down mountains. His hooves are the sound of thunder. His voice, a howling gale. Let's go ahead and open our map. It loaded a little smudge of map as we were being dropped off by the crow. That's neat. Can we... Okay. I was like, please, I've read that. Please leave. So here is Vegsvizir Eikthyr, register location. So now on our map, it will show us the like the sacrificial plinth, basically, that we need to use to summon Eikthyr. He is a deer god, if you couldn't guess that by the deer carving. And this one is a tall, spooky tree man, I think. I think I fought him before. The rest, Oogie Boogie over here is undetermined. This gator thing, fish, I have no idea what it is. And then the skull, which is always a good, it's always a really good sign when one of the bosses is just a skull. And you'll notice we've picked up some branches off the ground and some rocks. When you pick up new materials, it automatically gives you some of the new crafting recipes that you unlock based on what you picked up. So none of that like Minecraft having to, oh god, the Huggins scared me. None of that Minecraft having to memorize like placements and stuff, but you get a nice crafting recipe section where you can just click and craft, and you get more as you unlock workbenches and level them up. Most items must be crafted, however, due to your recent departure from Midgard, you will have to recall the true shape of objects. Just pick things up and it will all come back to you, I'm sure. My lesser brother Munin tells me one can fashion a stone axe out of wood and stone. Thank you. So we could do the classic, just punch down these tiny trees, and we actually get skill improvements by doing so with our unarmed skill. And we got resin, which is important. It lets us make torches and some armor and things like that. And this is oh my god, get out of here. Okay, we're gonna kick this guy in the face. Okay, we're gonna miss. If you've noticed the little stamina bar that shows up down at the bottom, oh, kick. Oh, he's stunned. Fuck him up. I'm gonna punch this guy. Whoop. We can also kind of like Dark Souls dodge. Oof. And you can block with right mouse button, and you roll by blocking and hitting spacebar in a direction. Oh, we just beat the shit out of a grayling. Take that. Okay, well I didn't really expect to get into combat so quickly, but here we are. And I'm gonna punch this tree and level up our unarmed, not woodcutting, but our unarmed skill is gonna level up by punching this tree. So here we go. Let's see, do we have enough to craft a stone axe? No, we actually need some more stones. We can craft a club, which I might do. Let's see if we can pick up some stones off the... Oh, yeah, there's tons of rocks over here. Oh my god, another grayling. Oh, I missed. Get out of here. If you do enough damage to something all at once, you will, like, break their guard, basically, and then attacks will be crits after that. So you can kind of, like, stun chain, CC chain some enemies. I really should, like, craft a weapon, but we're having decent luck just punching things. There we go, he'll spawn some more resin. Let's craft that axe, which we can actually use as a weapon too, and it's pretty successful, honestly. It's a pretty decent weapon. Does 15 slashing damage, or 4 to 8. I don't know what the difference between the 15 next to slash means and the 4 to 8, but it's a much better weapon than our fists, honestly. And I know you guys saw the leveling up, that there's no skill tree, but if you click on these triangles here, you can see the skills that we have really accessed so far. Even just jumping will level things up. And each of them will just kind of give a brief description of what higher levels do. So they're not like skill points or anything, but the more you punch things, the more damage your punches do. But you're always better off using a weapon though. Damage with clubs, damage with axes. And there's also going to be, let's pull out our axe and chop this beech tree. And we actually have a wood cutting skill, which reduces the amount of stamina it takes to chop down trees and increases how fast we chop them. Axe damage when hitting trees, yeah. So wood's going to be important. We also will need some food. Unlike like rust or something, you're not just going to starve to death, but food is like a important buff to regenerating your health. You'll notice in the bottom left, we've only got 22 hit points because one of those greylings smacked us for some reason because they're rude. Oh my god, Huggins keeps scaring the crap out of me. Every time you do something that's like a little bit of a progression in the game, Hugin. It's probably Hugin, since this is like Nordic. He's gonna pop out and tell us something, but he always scares the crap out of me. You have found a snack. Consume it to improve your health and stamina. Be aware that before long you will grow hungry again, so try to always have at least a couple different meals ready. And the way this works, you'll notice these 3 little boxes to the left of the basically hunger bar and health bar, and you can benefit from up to 3 different foods at a time. Obviously, berries and raw mushrooms aren't the most beneficial, but they will increase our stamina bar like you see, and we'll actually slowly start to regen health. So they're really good to just kind of have on hand. I'm picking up a lot of wood because we're gonna need it. We also, really, I think the first thing we should do right now is go exploring, because we kind of want to find water. It's important for later in the game when we're just tripped on a rock, when we're trying to get around. Oh look, we were sprinting, so we improved our run skill, which will let us run further on less stamina, or sprint faster, something like that. It's always better. I just don't know the exact specifics off the top of my head. Let's see, what does run do? Speed and stamina drain while running. Okay. Let's pick up some rocks because we're going to need them. And maybe you know what, we'll make a club because I think it's... Okay, so an axe does slashing damage at 15. A club does blunt damage at 12. I'm actually going to craft one though, because if we, heaven forbid, run into skeletons, the slashing damage is okay. Piercing damage like a knife or a dagger is terrible against skeletons. And the club should be our best bet. I'm really going to be looking for water, and I'm going to play this like Skyrim, where I just kind of pick up everything along my path. I'm not going to pick up dandelions because 10 hours into the game and fairly far in on my friend's server, and I still have no idea what the point of dandelions are, but really, every, like, rocks and branches are pretty good to just pick up so you have a nice little supply coming in. And the first thing I really want to do is find some place that is kind of near water, maybe near some bushes, something scenic. You know, we're not just gonna survive out here. We're gonna thrive out here. Okay, mark my words. But oh gosh, this branch is floating. Sometimes it can be a little difficult to actually find water early in the game. We'll also find some like abandoned structures, which we can loot and okay, enough picking stuff up. I'm just gonna run with my club. We can find some abandoned structures. Really, the food I will pick up though. I think the most important thing to do is to kind of get like some lay of the land. You'll notice our map is being permanently explored, so we'll kind of always have that reference and we can mark things on it. I do want to find water, like I said. One, because it's pretty, but mostly for eventually like fishing, also boating. You can make a raft fairly early on and get around a bit easier. It's a little easier to find your way when you can use the coast as a guide. These are not real life survival tips. I mean, they might be, but these are these are just what I've found in Valheim so far. Look at all these rocks. I also haven't mentioned, because it hasn't come into play yet, that everything does have a weight associated with it, and when you reach that weight, obviously rocks are a lot heavier than like raspberries, so you do have an inventory. Oh, there's a little shed right there. Like an inventory management system where you do have to be conscious of not only like the total spaces in your inventory, but also how much things weigh. Because if you are over encumbered, so if you're over that 300 mark, you will start straining and struggling, and you'll move a lot slower, and your stamina will drain until it is empty, and you basically can't do anything until you drop stuff. So not ideal. Also, this is a pretty underwhelming abandoned structure that we found. I think it looks like we're right near the coast though, right? Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, this is lovely. Oh, and we'll need flint, because we can actually we'll probably unlock right here. Oh, well, we can make flint axes if we've got a workbench. And flint you really only find near water for the most part. So it's pretty important to like tour up and down the coast picking up flint for like your kind of second tier of tools and weapons, I believe. I think it lets you make like a flint knife or something. See if we can need another raspberry. No, not yet. We'll really want to, now that we've found water, let's try and find a place to make our home. This is a nice little abandoned hut, which is, you know, always easier to build not from scratch. It'll be a lot less work to cut down trees. And you notice when I get close to a tree, it will say beech, or over here it will say birch. There's also firs and pines and oaks. I think the only thing we can cut down with our crappy stone axe is the beech tree. Oh my god, that guy scared me. Bonk. This is way better than just punching him. Wow. What an efficient killing machine this chunk of wood is. I think what we're going to do is we're going to rebuild this little hut. Is this a door? Okay, no. We're going to rebuild this hut and make it our home for now, right on the coast here. I'm not going to get too picky about building things. So let's go ahead and craft a hammer. We need this hammer to make like anything permanent. Oh my god. Hugin over here scaring the Jesus out of me every time. I know it's him, and I know he's not threatening, but with this tool, you will raise mighty halls, towering fortifications. Start by building a workbench. This, in turn, will enable you to construct other things. Let's go ahead and click our hammer. We're going to right-click to bring up our build menu. Let's go ahead and build a workbench. So you can build and place a workbench pretty much anywhere, but if you want to actually utilize it, it has to have cover. It has to have like a roof over it or some sort of covering over it. And now we've already unlocked some more recipes. This chopping block is something that we'll need to build eventually. So let's go ahead. We'll also want a fire to cook things and also just to, like, you know, stay warm and not freeze to death. We're not really at risk of burning anything to the ground right here, so let's go ahead and put the fire down, and we'll also put our little cooking rack over it. Those are very important. And we'll want a bed. Luckily, it's very cheap to build. We'll put it right here, I guess. Now let's work on patching up this building. I don't know if we have... Get out of there, Hugin. Okay. There is one roof section. He's actually following us now. 2 roof sections. You're in the way, Hugin. I need more wood. Okay, let's just chop some trees. I'm just gonna stick to the little trees right now because they're a lot faster, and unlike, you know, Minecraft, where when you chop down a tree, it just kind of safely and predictably ends up on the ground without too much drama. In this game, they actually topple over. Like, they have mass, and they will kill you, and if you're standing under them, and they will break buildings if they land on them. They will kill enemies if they land on them, and they're just generally a lot more deadly. So we're going to stick to the little ones that just kind of collapse, for now. They also take a lot longer to chop down, especially with this crappy stone axe. So I'm going to look at that cleave. Let's get some more wood. One of the reasons I didn't put the fire inside, besides the obvious of probably lighting things on fire. Actually, I don't know if they do light buildings on fire. They do light people on fire. You'll also get asphyxiated by the smoke. If you have a roof over it, it will collect at the top and you'll start taking damage from not being able to breathe. So kind of tricky to build like a working fireplace, honestly. Let's get our hammer back out. Let's go get our 45-degree roof section and a little wall thing. There we go. Now we'll actually talk to Hugin. You can't have your hammer out if you want to actually interact with things, so I had to swap to the X. Workbench allows you to craft complex items, as well as giving you lots more building pieces. To construct with the hammer, yes. So now, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been a little like health bar that shows up when I hover over things. Let's also get this door in place. Like now we actually have a door that we can shut. Let's clean. Well, I guess we'll talk to Hugin. Sleep the night away in your bed and awaken feeling refreshed and full of energy. Another improvement to your home would be some chests where you can store items. It is good practice to always have some spare equipment if something unfortunate should happen. Actually, Hugin is correct. I don't know what gender he is, or they are, so we'll just call them a they. Let's put down a chest that we can store. So here we can store our flint that we can use later. We've got rag tunics on and nothing else. And we'll put our resin away because we don't actually need it right now. Let's snack on some mushrooms and raspberries again, and let's see what we can build. So also, workbenches are important to have so you can actually repair your items, and different items will need to be repaired at different working stations. This is the really, really basic one, so it's good enough for now. We've also got some extra build options like a hoe for manipulating the earth, which we don't really need right now. We can make some wood arrows. We can make a flint axe. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to scour the world for some flint and some more wood. Actually, it's nighttime. We've got our cozy fire going. Let's claim our bed. And we'll go ahead and sleep the night away. You dream of a great tree reaching out through the night. One half of its branches crackle with flames, the other are green with leaves. And now we just climbed out of our house because our house is so small and our bed is so cramped. Okay, like I said, indie survival game, it has its quirks. I'm really enjoying it though. Let's go ahead and see if we can scour the beach for some flint. We'll explore some things. You can see on our map our bed is now marked, so we know where our house is. We're not too far from our henge, I guess we'll call it, which is like our main menu. This is like our progression hub. We've got the Eikthyr plinth all the way to the west. It's actually not that far in the west. So we'll spend the morning picking up flint. Let's get our club ready just in case. We'll just run along here. Maybe we'll be able to kill a boar or something. Perhaps even a deer, but with melee weapons, deer are actually quite hard to kill until you get some faster run and some sneak levels under your belt. And some better weapons so you can kill them in one hit. Because they're fast and they get scared very easily. I thought this was a rock. It's not. Let's see if we can... Okay. I just tried to run up to a deer and club it, and I almost got away with it too. So we took a little bit of damage there, but it's really fine. We've got enough mushrooms and raspberries to heal that back, no problem. Let's make sure we're picking up some wood too, because we're gonna need it. Although, I don't actually know if it's worth our time to stop to pick up wood, since we can just chop down some better trees. Let's pick up this flint. Really, like I said, we're looking for flint, and it's gonna be right along this coast here. I don't know why these rocks are glowing a little bit, but that's neat. I think this is plenty to actually create our first flint axe. It's kind of foggy this morning. Now I can't see shit, honestly, because of the fog. But at least it's pretty. Ah, raspberries. And a bunch of branches. I guess we'll pick those up too. We might be able to eat another raspberry? No. Okay, well, fine. Back to flint harvesting. There's also things called necks around the water, which are like little, not really that little, but like bulldog-sized lizards that you can kill for, well, they will attack you too, And you can kill them for their tails that they sometimes drop, which are a nice source of meat and one of the better food sources. There's a neck in the water there. I don't know if you guys caught that. He was standing over there and we just kind of looked at each other and then he went away. So apparently he's not feeling like being aggressive today, which is good because I need this flint right here. Excuse me, Nex, don't mind me. At least I think they're aggressive. I remember them being aggressive, but I could have been wrong. Oh, there's boars. So we're gonna sneak, which takes some more energy. You just hit left control and your character will crouch down. It takes more energy to move while sneaking. And you can see my stamina bar just draining, kind of like sprinting. We're getting so many sneak levels here. If you just stand still, your energy will come back. I don't know if we'll actually be able to sneak up on these things. Oh! The answer is no. Oh, I just got smacked by this boar. But you see, we picked up leather scraps, and that's a huge benefit. You need them. You need leather scraps for basically any of the like early tier. That's right. Come get me. I've got a club. I'm on top of the world. Oh my God! What? We just insta killed that boar. We also picked up. So we got 3 leather scraps, which is not a lot, and no meat. Are you serious? Not a single boar dropped a piece of meat. Maybe we can kill some of these. Oh my God! Okay, so I got in the water, and that just unequipped my my club. So I just punched him. But we were able to get a necktail, which is like the next tier of meat, and it's why we built that cooking spit over our fire. All right. I think it's about time we head back. We've explored a bit up the coast. We got some leather scraps. Okay, we'll head back to our little shack. Oh, another neck. More necks. Oh, I'm out of stamina. Ooh. Okay, let's see if we can get some necktails. No, they're not. I think it's like a 1 in 3 drop rate, basically. So they're not the most common, and they're good to have because if you have meat as well, it can be like a nice extra boost to your stamina because your stamina increases based on all 3 of the foods that you have consumed. So if you have 2 higher tier foods, it's quite good for your health regen and for your stamina bar. So we're gonna get back. We're almost there. We didn't wander too far, honestly. Our food buffs have worn off, so that's kind of why our stamina bar is so crappy. We're gonna start regenerating some more health, and I think we're just about back. So let's go ahead and craft our first flint tool, and we'll see some more of the crafting recipes we have. Let's go ahead and repair all of our stuff, because as far as I know, repairing an item is free. So we can make a flint knife with 2 of our leather scraps and 4 flints, which is good because you can see it's got a 10 times backstab modifier on it. The club has a 3 times backstab modifier, but just is more damage. I like the knives a lot. The spears are decent because they do a pretty good amount of damage, have a longer range, and you can throw them, but then you have to go pick them up, as you might expect. They're not my favorite, so I'm going to hold off crafting them. It also takes 10 flint to make that spear, which we surprisingly have. So let's go ahead and craft our flint axe. We'll see what we can make after that. And then a knife. We can't make a crude bow. What do we need for a bow? We need 8 leather scraps. This bow is going to be really important. It will actually let us hunt deer, because deer drop not only meat, but they also drop deer hide, which let you make like leather armor instead of just rag tunics and rag pants. We'll probably want to craft this rag pant because all we have right now is a tunic. We don't have a hat. We don't have pants. We can also make ourselves a shield, which would be nice. Will slow us down bit, but you know, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff, and this is just kind of like the beginning here. We can also upgrade. What do we need to upgrade our flint knife? We need a level 2 crafting bench. Let's go ahead and equip our hammer. And let's see, crafting, what do we need? We need 10 flint to make our chopping block, but once we do, we'll be able to get a level 2 crafting bench, and it will let us not only make some new items, but also improve the things we have. So we're going to call it, we're going to call the episode here, and if you guys do like, you can, you know, subscribe to me on YouTube, go over to twitch.tv/GTFrostbite, find me on there, give me a follow, and we'll kind of dive more into one of my honestly new favorite survival games, Valheim. See you, everyone.